Hey everyone, Mark here at TapeTally.com for your Week 25 stock market recap. This week we saw the markets, the U.S. markets, move up plus or minus 1%. Overall, I'm maintaining my neutral rating on them. They didn't really move too much, although we did have a very volatile and interesting week. At the end of the day on Friday, they didn't really move too much for the week. Canadian markets were down almost 2%, and that's on the backs of the bearish outlook on gold and oil. They moved down quite a bit this week as well, and that will move a commodity-driven stock exchange such as the Canadian market down more relatively to the U.S. markets. Let's jump right into the analysis here. Once again, we're looking at the SPY. This week, what I'm basically going to do, I'm going to show you how I look at the indexes basically every day. Is I take a look at the overall market picture from a very long-term time frame to a shorter-term time frame. So we'll look at the weekly time frame, we'll look at the daily time frame, and then we'll look at the 30-minute time frame and kind of gauge where we're at with that. So what I do is for those three time frames, I'll give them each a rating. So either I have a bullish rating, a bearish rating, or a neutral rating. So for this one, obviously I'm maintaining my neutral rating here. We didn't really move too much. We did see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday the market starting to break out, and by Thursday it sank quite a bit, and Friday was just a slight bounce inside day, kind of a meaningless day. So once again, we see here we're in the middle of the channel, not too much to talk about, maintaining a neutral rating. So let's take a look at the daily. Last week we talked about, I believe the market closed right on this green candle here. So we had drawn a line, I believe, across there like that, and maybe one there. I can't quite remember, but we were talking about if we did see a breakout, if it could hold, and it could not. We saw Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday hold above this breakout line, but Thursday, on the backs of whatever news was out there, we saw the market break down, and Friday was an inside meaningless day. So let's take that off, and you can see here how really quickly this goes. This is what the market is. There's not much we can do to change it. I'll just change it to a 30-minute time frame here. And I was taking a look at the market here. We saw this big we saw the market start to pull back here after this sort of a wedge pattern throughout the previous week. Starting to get extended. I was expecting a bit of a pullback here. We got more than I had expected, but another pattern. Let's just get this in a little bit tighter. Another one here. We had seen right like that, sort of a pennant pattern coming out of there, and I was taking a look at that throughout the day, and I mean we did see a breakout above that. So on the weekly time frame, I would say that I'm maintaining my neutrality. Same thing on the daily time frame. On the intraday time frame, on the very short term time frame, I would say that it's a bit bullish here. This may just be a slight oversold bounce, but I could definitely see the market getting up. If we do start to break upwards on the daily and the weekly, then we'll definitely see it break the tops here pretty quickly. If not, I'm expecting the market to get in here somewhere. Let's just a little box out here. Let's do, oops. I'm expecting the markets, if we get stuck, oh, I can't pull it out anymore. Okay, just learned something. Anyways, yeah, I expect it to stall out somewhere here, in the 135 to 136 range, and then we'd head lower, especially on the daily time frame. Let's go back to that one. Sort of a bear flag pattern here, but so how this is going to play out, we're not 100% sure. I can tell you from experience that the market is giving us quite a few mixed messages. The data out there, the news is, I'm sure it's extremely negative. I don't pay attention too much to news. There's some headlines that obviously you can't escape with. If you read anything on the internet or you turn on the TV, there's something about Greece. So it's hard to get away from everything, but I try not to get into the intricacies of each detailed story and everything like that, and all the numbers of that economists are releasing. I just don't get into that. So yeah, like I said, from my experience, I can tell you that the market is giving a lot of mixed messages. The data out there is horrible, yet the market continues to trade, sort of in a range. We get some up days and we get a big down day, 3 or 4 steps forward, 5 or 6 steps backwards, and then, it's kind of an up and down volatile market. I could really see it starting to play out like we saw here. We saw a nice smooth begin to 2011, and then we started getting some volatility, and it just continued throughout the year. And that's a tough market to trade, but it is what it is. And basically, we're coming into the summer months. It's going to be choppy. The market can turn on a dime in either direction, and we just need to play it that way. So have a great week and trade well.